Hey there friends, how's it going? David Potts with Song Notes here, and today we're looking at walk-ups and walk-downs, but specifically I'm going to show you some strum-friendly walk-downs you can do in the key of C. And why this is worth learning is I would wager what I'm about to teach you is the most common walk-down you're going to run into when you're playing guitar. As far as rock, country, blues, folk music goes, this is used all the time. You've probably encountered it already. So in this short lesson, I'm just going to explain to you what's going on so you can recognize this. And then you'll also know where you can kind of cut corners based on your skill level, what makes you comfortable, right? Because there's a lot of like optionality you have as far as do you put your finger here or not. Lots of stuff, it doesn't matter. What really matters is those bass notes. And as long as you get those bass notes, all the strumming you're going to add in between is going to sound good no matter what you do, okay? And that's what I'm going to teach you here, okay? So let's get into it. And I will say I do have a 3-page PDF cheat sheet available for this lesson. It has tabs and write-ups for everything I'm about to show you. So if you want to follow along, get that printout, follow with these exercises. They're all in there. So check that out. The link's in the description, and you can view all kinds of other lessons for walk-ups and walk-downs as part of this course that I'm building out, right? It's a really fun way to sort of add some distinction and character to your playing. So let's get into this and talk about what's going on here. So we're in the key of C. In previous lessons, I've talked about this idea of walking down, right? In this case, to a G chord. And then walking back up to a C major. So what's happening there? Just a quick review, right? The idea is the bass note of whatever chord we play, right? The root note is going to have the same name as the chord itself. So a C major is going to have a C note as far as the lowest in pitch note we're playing, right? This is the root of the chord. An individual note is neither major nor minor. It's just a raw sort of atomic material, right? This is a C bass note. This is a B bass note, okay? This is an A bass note, and this is a G bass note. Now, those notes are all coming from the C major scale. If we looked at the fretboard in open position for C major, we would see 3rd fret, 5th string, that's a C, right? 5th string, 2nd fret, that's a B. 5th string open is an A, and then the 3rd fret of the 6th string is a G. So those are basically us going down in pitch in the C major scale, right? We're starting on C, and we're going down one note at a time, okay? If you need help reviewing the major scale, I have a practical music theory course where I explain, what are the 12 notes, the order of notes, and I have a lesson on the major scale, how it works. And it's really handy to get a grasp of. So check that out if you're interested in learning it. The link's in the description, okay? But here's the cool part, and this is probably something you've encountered. There's lots of times you can do the same walk downs, right? But you can do strumming after each bass note. There's 2 ways I'm going to teach you this exact figure here. One is like this. All right, C, G over B to A minor to G. Okay, so when I say G over B, what is that? Well, it's a G chord, a G major chord. But when we say over B, it means give me a G major, but I want your bass note to be B. Okay, that's what over B means. So C, G over B to A minor to G, okay? Now, if you look at those highlighted notes there, it's the same notes that I was walking down before. Our C, our B, our A, our G. But what we're gonna do this time is add that strumming. Sounds like this. I'll show you tabs with some additional strumming options here. But whether you do one strum or a few, the main idea is those bass notes are all consistent, right? That's what I'm sort of getting in between all the strums. And it just gives you this nice fleshed out sound. Now here's the same bass note walk down with strumming, but using slightly different chord voicings. It's gonna look like this. We're going from a C to a C over B to an A minor 7 to a C over G, okay? Now these, again, don't let these chords trip you up. It's just a C major chord like before. Now the C over B, all it is keep our left index finger still, then we just play 2nd fret on the 5th string and leave the 3rd and 4th strings open. This one sounds a bit dissonant, right? Because these 2 notes are a half step apart, so you have that real kind of tension there, but that's actually a nice tension we're gonna use to our advantage here. So our C, C over B, our A minor 7, it's just an A minor, but we're gonna leave the 3rd string open, okay? And then we're just gonna put our ring finger down on the 3rd fret of the low E string. And then we're calling this a C over G, because it's basically a C major chord with a G bass note. okay? Now if you play this one a few times, it's gonna sound like this. Okay? Now, you would notice again, I want to make sure this is really clear. The bass notes are the exact same as in the previous exercise I showed you. Okay? It's the same C to the B to the A to the G. You could use G over B voicing to A minor to G, or you could use the C over B voicing, the A minor 7, and then the C over G. These are going to sound, again, mostly the same, and I invite you and encourage you to use either whenever you encounter this, right? If you have a lot easier time with one of these than the other, use the one you're more comfortable with, okay? I think even when I'm writing up my song sheets, I have to sometimes decide, is this a C over B or a G over B? Why am I picking one or the other? Does it matter? I would say the only time that the C over B is really going to be advantageous to use is if you want this first fret note to be a persistent theme, right? Then you would use that sort of second approach where you have the C over B and the A minor 7 and then the C over G, because then you have this consistent note, right? Let me play it finger style to really emphasize that. Play the same vibe, but with the other chord shapes, it would sound like this. So in that circumstance, did your ear notice how you have this? You have this on and off with that second string note. Sometimes you don't want that, and that's why you might keep your left index finger there, okay? So that's pretty much the lay of the land as far as the two different voicings you might use when you encounter this walk down. All right, y'all, I hope you found this helpful. Again, get that cheat sheet, the PDF printout. It has everything I just showed you in print-friendly format. I have this for so many other lessons, over several hundred of these, and they're all available to you. I also have a walk up and walk down course that I'm building out right now, so if you like this topic, check that out as well. It's in the lesson description as well. One thing you'll also find on the lesson page for my walk up and walk down course is a bunch of song lessons I've made that use walk ups and walk downs, right? There's so many, and it's really a great way to flesh out a song and give it some character. So check that out. But again, you learn these concepts once, you're going to start to notice them in songs all over the place, right? And that's really the great part about guitar is the more you learn, the more you realize like, oh, I've seen that before. I've seen that before. Oh, I know that if I use this C over B instead of a G over B, it's going to be okay. I'm going to do that, right? You get that confidence. And that's really what I want to sort of deliver and bestow upon you if my lessons are at all able to do that. So I hope you found this helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Always great to hear feedback and comments. And otherwise, I'll see you in my next lesson. I have a song coming up later this week that's going to use this exact walk down. So when you run into it there, you'll be ready. All right. So take care, my friends, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.